Fellas, the song still slaps, man. The song still slaps.
Yeah,
I can
it's
I
so
cannot
good.
I cannot hit that skip button. It shows up. The skip intro button comes up on Disney Plus, and I'm like, why? Why would you even show that? Makes no sense to me. Get that out of here.
They should have like a turn it up button, where
Yes.
it just like increases volume. Like, do you listen to it like I do? I'm just like,
Yeah, dude. I'm getting my shades. I'm getting my shades on, and I'm tying a bandana around my head, and it's
Yeah.
on, dude. Absolutely
Honestly,
Hear ye, and welcome to the Royal Geek Podcast. I am your host tonight, Justin Sandoval, aka Sandy, and I am joined as always by Anthony Amato, who we like to call Shamato, and our boy Jordan Mosley, the landlord. We are coming to you live from our own houses because the studio was closed today. Unfortunately, the landlord forgot to pay the bills. So, but it's okay. T-Roll is trying to get the door open right now. That's why he's not here. So, anyway, fellas, we are here to talk about X-Men 97 season 2 episodes 1 through 4. So we did take a week off for the 4th of July holiday, and so they ended up dropping 3 episodes during that week, and then we came back this week with 1 episode to review. So we're gonna do all 4, and we're gonna have a good time doing it. So first things first, thank you so much to our loyal listeners out there. We appreciate you so much for tuning into this, and we are appreciative of everything that you guys have done, especially for those signing up for Trial by Tomato. Remember to get on the action in our over-under movie game by going to trialbytomato.com and sign up. A lot of people signed up this time. I'm actually very impressed and thankful that all of you guys are out there who are listening are willing to put some skin in the game. So anyway, we really appreciate it here on the World Geek Podcast. So with that being said, spoiler warning. We are about to talk about all 4 episodes in any which order we decide to choose to talk about. And yeah, so here we go. Fellas, the song still slaps, man. The song still slaps.
Yeah,
I
it's so
cannot
good.
I cannot hit that skip button. It shows up. The skip intro button comes up on Disney Plus, and I'm like, why? Why would you even show that? Makes no sense to me. Get that out of here.
they should have like a turn it up button,
Yes.
where it just like increases volume. Like, do you listen to it like I do? I'm just like,
Yeah, dude. I'm getting my shades. I'm getting my shades on, and I'm tying a bandana around my head, and it's
Yeah.
on, dude. Absolutely
Honestly, this gives me an idea for a podcast for us. Like our top 5 songs that we never hit the skip button on for shows.
That's
It's
a great
similar to like what we
idea.
did with the theme songs, but I think this is like a more specific like idea.
Yeah, absolutely. This would work. This would be 100% in our wheelhouse too, especially the 3 of us. Like T-Roll, we can forget about that dude. Like I don't even know why he exists anymore. But
Payroll has a button that it doesn't say skip, it says play the intro.
yeah, just play the intro in general. Just play the episode. Yeah. But anyway, song aside, dude, this is such a really good show, man. It is the quality, the action, the animation. The little downer for me was like some of the voice acting was a little. Dialogue was a little sketchy, but all in all, season 2 is coming in with a bang, and I'm here for it so far. What are you guys' first impressions?
I think it's done a great job of picking up where it was, at the end of the last season. And I think it's really moved the plot along, and we're really getting they've set up some already 2 major villains to be potentially, connected to this season. So we've seen a lot going on here because we saw multiple villains in season 1, and like they've been putting out some banger villains so far. Like, and you're just seeing a lot of really cool stuff playing out, and it's kind of like all the stuff like you kind of wish that you had seen in live action that we just haven't. Honestly, you could say like the 2 villains that they've introduced are essentially them just saying, "Hey, our bad for those live action versions. We're gonna give it right in the animated versions."
Honestly, that's a great point there, Shimano. It really is. Jordan, what about you? What do you think about this so far?
Yeah, I love it so far. I mean, it's like I like how with the 2 different like timelines that they're in. I like how they've kept them separate for the most part, where it's not like bouncing back and forth. Because I think that could get really confusing. But yeah, I think the villains, I love the setup, the continuity between the first season and then this one, and then the art style. I just think it's so cool. Like, and
Yeah.
it's not something that like with like CGI and all that kind of stuff. You're like, oh, like this is progressive. Like this is awesome. Like no, this is actually going back a few steps, and like so I think it's cool to see it
Yeah.
like looking in
Yeah.
its original form.
You mentioned art style, and the one thing that stands out for me through all of these episodes for me is Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler and the
Yeah.
shading on his face, and it's constantly there, and his eyes,
Yeah.
and even like the puff of smoke that he leaves behind. Like it, he's been visually stunning in these episodes, and I looking forward to potentially seeing what they can do with him in live action post like MCU acquiring the character. I'm very interested to see that, but I've enjoyed seeing the shading on his face and the leaving a bit of mystery to him.
Yeah, I think it's a cool idea. I think they've been really doing a good job with like the idea of what can we do. I think it's showing like what you can do positively with adding like computer generated animation, and I feel to like kind of potentially shorten the process, but keeping it to where it looks like the older form. And I
Hmm.
think it's kind of showing a pathway where both forms can kind of like coexist.
Yeah, and they're melding together pretty well too so far.
And I've seen some spots. So I don't know if it's I mean, I think I've got pretty good internet here, so I don't think it's my streaming device. But like, I see spots like where the art style like seems to like glitch or like small like skip aheads, like not like maybe like a frame or two, not enough to like throw it off.
I
And
haven't
I'm
noticed
wondering,
that.
really, I noticed it in this last episode, in one of the scenes with like Bishop. Like it was like for lack of a better term, like a flutter, right? And like I was watching, it's like thinking like it's not an oversight. Like they didn't cheap out on the show, you know.
No, they didn't.
So I'm wondering like if that's something that they're intentionally doing, because
And
I
you said
saw it a few different times.
you noticed it the most in episode 4, or
Hmm.
all right, I'm gonna have to go back
Yeah.
and check that because I have a feeling that maybe this is something to do. I mean, if that is the case, I'm just reading into it. What if it is something with like the future timeline? Like there's a distortion there, and like something going along those lines.
Maybe.
But
Yeah,
which I
Or
actually,
or my internet could be slow.
yeah, that
it
too.
could be
Yeah,
that.
but I think
Or
you have
maybe,
better internet
it's
than
like
me.
it's like pre-rip jeans, pre-distressed. They're
Yeah,
trying to
just
like they're making it look like they're purposely putting like
Hmm.
errors to make it seem more authentic.
more
That's what I'm hoping.
90s. Yeah. Yeah, I did not notice, but I will. I'll go back and check that out. I will say, starting it off in the future, like they do start the episode 1 and 2 comes to the present, but starting in the future was, I think, a good move for them because first off, it looked the apocalyptic style
Hmm.
future that they were living and being a part of was really cool, and then seeing Nathaniel, or was it Nathan? Nathan, I think,
Hmm.
as
Yeah.
a yeah. I was thinking Nathaniel because that's a spoiler for episode 4. Anyway, but Nathan, he was first off, he's already going gray, and he's he's only like how old here, 12 or something like that.
Something like that.
Um,
Yeah.
I
yeah,
get it.
he's already going
I
gray.
understand
But
it.
the visuals with his arm, and him fighting, pushing the virus, and then his Jean Grey kind of like teaching him, walking him through that.
Yeah.
I did think that was a cool like mother son moment where she wasn't revealed to be his mother yet. Like they're kind of keeping that a secret. So he's still being trained by his mother and his father, but not actually knowing his mother and father. I enjoyed that part of the storyline because they were doing their best to not disrupt any potential, ripples that can come from him knowing the knowledge too early. And I mean, what did you guys take away from the future part of this part of the season?
Yeah. I think it was a great opportunity for us to see, like, you don't usually get to see Cable when he's young, you know? Like, so you don't really get a whole lot of time in that. You usually see him as a baby, and then all of a sudden he comes back as Cable. Like, you don't really get to see that in between part. Any of the potential, like, it was interesting because it gave him like chances to make decisions, like about his path, which a lot of Cable's story is based on him not really having choices. So it's interesting seeing like the fact that he actually did have choices. Like he actually made some of these choices in this pathway, seeing him have to do these things. So I thought that was really cool getting to see him have to do that. And I think that's a like a part of the fact that like you said they had multiple timelines. I think them having three like timelines, it allows you to kind of focus on characters. So there's so many X-Men right now, that it allows us to like, okay, so we're just gonna focus on the people in the past. So you can focus a little more on someone maybe you didn't get a chance to before. In the present, you got to do that as well. And in the future, you got to focus on someone as well who you didn't. What should be Nathan in this case?
Yeah, I think one of the yeah, I don't think it was supposed to be funny, but like where he's sitting there talking about like why didn't my parents like want me and all this stuff, and they kind of like
Yeah.
look at each
Yeah,
other, and it's like it was almost like who's gonna break first,
Yeah.
because like
Who's
he
gonna
was
tell
he
him?
was really
yeah,
yeah he was really pulling that out. But yeah, overall I thought it was cool. I like in storylines like you brought up, Justin, like where they can like they do it a lot in books and stuff where like the parents have something to do with their kid without them knowing, like Daredevil, and like his mom, the nun, like knowing who their parent or not knowing who their parents are, but the parents still having some kind of effect on their lives. It's just an interesting twist. So like I like that they let that play out a little bit. Um, and then I think as the season goes, hopefully we get a little bit more of the young Nathan. Hopefully.
Yeah, coming into his own, kind of, right?
Hmm.
And there also is another character they focus on in the future too, and it's the mother, I forget Mother Scully, I think is what their name. I don't remember what her,
Yeah.
but anyway, Mother.
You know what her haircut looked like? Do you remember in
From Terminator, right? No.
I was going with what was it? Thing Avatar, the
Oh,
fourth
Avatar.
Avatar.
Oh, yeah,
oh
that's right.
yeah, yeah,
It's got the flat top,
Quidditch,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's so funny.
flat top
yeah.
with a ponytail. I was like, whoa, that's good.
Which, I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on her so far? Like, do you guys know who she is, or do you want me to spoil it for you, or you guys got it figured out?
You're not gonna
Or
hurt my feelings.
Shamato?
I'm here for the
Go
vibes.
for it.
Oh, okay. So I'm like 99.9% sure that is Rachel Summers, who is the sister of Nathan Summers, and the daughter of Cyclops and Jean Grey, and potentially which rumors came out this week saying that Sadie Sink's character from Spider-Man is going to make her debut in X-Men 97, which would be, I think, a younger Rachel Summers.
That'd be
So,
interesting. Yeah.
I don't know what you just said.
you know, yeah. So
I'm
the
gonna
big,
need you to draw me a diagram when
yeah,
I see you next.
well, I'll gladly do so. But yeah, like it was coming out this week that the character that Sadie Sink is playing is going to debut in X-Men 97, and the only character we can think of that is red hair and who was kind of introduced as an old lady, which I'm thinking we're going to see her as a young person in the next couple episodes. When Rachel comes onto the scene, is going to be Rachel Summers. So that'll be interesting. And that also will play into the Avengers storyline with Doctor Doom, where he's going around collecting kids. And so he may be coming after Sadie Sink as a child of Jean Grey, that kind of thing. So, but anyway, I liked her character. And if it is for sure her, which I do think it is. If it's for sure her, then seeing a younger version of her come onto the screen and how she fits into the whole entire storyline as well, I think will be fun to see. But I like how he went from the future to the X-Force, where Cable's at present time, and he's collecting everybody because Jubilee got some time to shine. Jubilee
Yes,
had
I
some
definitely wanted.
amazing
Yeah.
action sequences. Shamato, what did you like about Jubilee getting that spotlight?
I just like the fact that for the first time, I feel like in the series, I liked Jubilee. Like, honestly, like she was kind of annoying in season one, and kind of like, once again, like I feel like it gave her. That's kind of what I was kind of saying when I was like, they got some spotlight on some more characters that you don't normally get to, in the sense of like some growth. Although they did spend a decent amount of time on Jubilee in season one. I do think that is true, but I feel like in this one she got to be an adult version. Like she was. I feel like a lot of season one was you're tagging along. You're kind of like the sidekick to what a lot of what's happening. You're not really making any decisions of your own, like that kind of thing. Whereas in this one, she was making a lot of the decisions to do it and like try to move forward. And then on top of that, you got to see her use her powers in really cool ways, and just like honestly, her on the top of that I guess was it just a helicarrier? Like what were they
It
on?
looked like a yeah, it looked
Yeah.
like a prism in the sky.
Yeah. But like yeah, just her fight on that, like just her flowiness and like her abilities in it to like and her willingness to just get into the fight was just like it was really cool seeing her like when she was actually forced into like, hey, you get to be your own person if you choose to be. It's kind of what I saw it at.
Yeah, and the moment where there was like a scared mutant in the corner, and they're surrounded by soldiers, and like she kind of did like the fetal position, like made a ball of energy, and then like exploded. I was like, dude,
Yes.
when did she become this cool? Like it was one of those
Yeah.
like eye-opening moments where you had no idea she could do this, but then she still had her edgy and fun flair, like when she jumped off and fell, and then she did fireworks while she was leaving.
Yes.
Which I mean, I thought that was like a good little added touch to keeping that angsty punk attitude.
I
Yeah,
think
like she
her,
had, yeah.
like her, like the colors, just pop. Like
Oh, yeah.
from just her costume in general, but then her powers, and like it's kind of like you were saying with Nightcrawler, like her and like Sunspot, like you can see how the animation has grown, even though it still does look older. I think it's really cool what they've done with theirs. It makes it pop kind of on the screen.
For sure.
But yeah, and just like I feel like it gives her like she's still holding on to like that joyfulness that she kind of has, and like that like teenage
Like that
like
Jubilee.
yes, that jubilee, very much so. Like she's hanging on to that in these moments of even when there's something crazy going on. That's why like you've seen the fireworks and the way she's doing it, and she's just being kind of like that snarky teenager that she's always been, but now with a little bit more of like an adult purpose.
Yeah. Did you guys like the X Force catered intro as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool seeing that
Yeah.
too. Which I'm sure we're gonna get some more X Force centric episodes. I feel like the way that everything's kind of feels like it's laying out. We could see that potentially, but then episodes 3 and 4 they kind of get into the meat of the story here, and we focus on the past. And the titles of the episode give it away alone. Is the Rise of Apocalypse, and so did you guys think when they're in the past and they're dealing with a young Apocalypse that did you think they were going to actually successfully get him to not become a tyrant? Like that never crossed your mind, right? Like never, like, but that storyline was still a little compelling, right? Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
Magneto's speech to him to try to convince him otherwise. Like I was still feeling that, even though I was like, there ain't no way.
Yeah, I think it was one of those situations where you were definitely like you felt for the X-Men as characters because they were trying so hard to try, and especially with Magneto because it's such like a turn from what he normally is. Like he was
Mhm.
trying so hard to pull him back from the ledge. But it's like one of those things where like you've watched this movie already, like you know where he's going, but you just know that these characters, no matter how much they try, they can't pull him back from the ledge, but they have to try,
Yeah.
you know?
I will say the character design for Ensaba Nur was like
Yes.
he looked fantastic in the past. Like I honestly, when he got the Apocalypse armor, I was a little disappointed because I
Yeah.
really liked his appeal, like the
Yeah.
Egyptian style with a little bit of the modern armor like around the neck, and like I don't know,
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I will say when he got his like his real like apocalypse look, it did look a little like round, a little maybe a little too round. But like the Abensur looked like phenomenal. Like he looked like it was just well, you can see it fed so well into the story that he was trying to portray about him always feeling like he was outside of society, and like you could really tell, yeah, like immediately this dude looks different. Like you understand where that would have come from. So yeah,
Yeah, I wish they would have done the kind of the whole change like in phases. I don't know how they would have done that like successfully, but like I felt like it was just kind of rushed.
Yeah.
Like, cause I was with you, Justin. Like, I thought it looked awesome. Like, and it was just kind of a different look because, like, I don't know, the round, like you said, the round head and all that just kind of looks kind of goofy. I was like, man, if they would have like slowly
God,
transitioned into that, I'd be
progression.
like,
Yeah.
okay, that could have been cool.
Yeah. But what was cool was this like futuristic Egyptian style. Like I had no idea what was going on. I was like, wait a minute, why does Egypt look the way it does? And then we get introduced to Ramatut, and then as soon as they said Ramatut, I was like, wait, we got Kang now? Like what's going on now? Like why are we I've seen him. I've seen him in the post credit scene
Mm.
for Kang. And so anyway, he brought future tech to the past, and he's trying to conquer that way. But I did not expect to actually see him as Kang
Actually put
yet.
on the helmet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he put on the helmet and drop his other aliases like Victor and
Yeah.
Kang. Like actually drop those names, and Nathaniel, which is who he is. So the fact that they are dropping that now is I think that's going to pay dividends in the way that the season can go, because not only is Apocalypse a huge villain like you mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, Shamato, but so is Kang. And if they play their cards right, we could be moving into like a elite tier villain to another elite tier villain, and they're able to do that so well in animation that it is making up for the live action. So I mean, we could be eating good, boys. Like I don't understand how this could fail.
But yeah, it was super cool seeing like them play out those type of characters and just seeing the manipulation of like you're like, oh, like Kang is manipulating everything going on here to try to get, these people to do what he wants them to do in this moment. He's kind of just playing around. Like that's kind of that's like one of Kang's like major characteristics is although he is like I'd say number one is that he wants to conquer stuff. But then he's also kind of like this almost like playful. He has this playful personality to him, to where he kind of wants to just like, hey, I just want to kind of see what happens. Like I want to like kind of play around with what's going on in these timelines. I think it's almost like this idea that he gets bored because he's seen so much. He's just like, what can I do to make this stuff interesting? You know?
Well, I like in episode 4, like when he breaks the fourth wall and just kind of like turns and makes a comment like to the camera. I thought that was interesting too. Like when he was sitting on the throne.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. As far as like he was talking about leaning into that personality, just like, what could happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think he did that when he was talking about potential timelines, I believe. And so I think that fit in even more because it's like he could be coming to our timeline, that kind of thing. But yes, did you guys think it was Kang leaving because he feared Apocalypse, or Kang leaving because he knew he couldn't conquer this timeline because now it's Apocalypse as his timeline? Or was it fear, or more of like I have a better chance of conquering someplace else? Or how'd you guys?
I
What was your read on that?
honestly, the way I read it was more like I did what I was supposed to do here.
So you think he intentionally wanted Apocalypse to be that way? Because I feel like his conversation earlier was like, I can stop Apocalypse now and take this timeline for myself.
Hmm.
And before he becomes who he's supposed to become. That's the way I kind of read.
Yeah, I mean, there was some of that, but I kind of just feel like the way he was like so calm and cool about it, it kind of almost felt like everything's going to plan. Like I felt like he had that kind of feel to him in a
I
lot
thought
of
it
what he was
was
doing.
I thought it was like avoidance. Like, well, that would have worked out really well. If I go anymore, it'll be more work. So I'll just go do
Yeah.
something easier, like you were saying,
Yeah,
Justin.
and I think it's very similar to like I was saying, like he's seen so much that I think he kind of like he doesn't think of a single timeline as being all that important. So he's like he'll play it out, but like if he needs to back out, he'll back out. Like he's like, okay, this is just one of 1,000 hands. I think is how he kind of sees it. And I think I don't know, it's possible maybe like I don't know, maybe he wanted Apocalypse to take over. I mean, he wanted to see what Apocalypse is and does, like, because, like he's essentially, I think he sees timelines as almost like running simulations in a lot of ways. Like,
Yeah. Experiments. It's like trying to
yeah,
figure
like,
out what works.
like, what if I do this here? Like, what happens? And so in another timeline, maybe he does something different when he faces an apocalypse, a version of apocalypse in another, timeline. And I
Yeah.
think that it's maybe kind of a mix of both. Maybe he was a little bit like, yeah, maybe I can't get this timeline like I wanted to, but I feel like he was also very much like, well, I mean, if apocalypse gets it here, then that's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. Because I mean, it all will come back to him 3,000,
Yeah,
or at that time it'll be 8,000 years into the future.
yeah,
But yeah, so yeah, I enjoyed his like little mini arc there, or at least planting the seed. But then going back to Apocalypse becoming Apocalypse, I like how they had kind of Magneto be considered a mentor at first, and then transition over to Charles becoming a mentor, and then his distrust for Magneto, and then to only distrust Charles at the end. Like
yeah,
it was just like a revolving door of misinformation or lack of communication, and mistrust, and then which honestly, like that's what led to Apocalypse being Apocalypse. It wasn't Kang enslaving his people and all that kind of stuff. I feel like it was it was the fact that he had finally found these other mutants who were just like him, only for them to withhold information from him, to then lie to him and completely like blindside this guy. Like that's what
yeah.
was the contributing factor to him being who he is.
I think it was multiple times. Like I know Charles even said it was like, like he told you the truth, just not all the truth, and it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's why he's pissed.
yeah,
And like, how many times did they do that? It's like they doubled down. They're like, okay, well, he figured it out up until this much. Like, surely he won't do it again. And then they did it again. It's like, just freaking play all your cards on the table,
yeah. I
and
think
like, you
there's, yeah,
can't be any worse.
I think they definitely fell into that trap a little bit of doing that. But I think it's also just one of those things where it kind of showed where Apocalypse was like essentially at a lost cause from like the almost the very beginning, because like one of the big things he pushes, he's like, you were hiding the fact that I could have all had all this power. It was kind of like this idea of like if you've never had power, like it's something you lust after greatly. Like, and I feel like once he knew that that was a world that he could have, I think he was lost. I think as soon as it was aware to him that there was a possibility that he could have essentially all the power he could ever want in his hand, it wouldn't have mattered how much they lied to him, how much they helped him out. I think it was something like it was just an itch. It was an
Yeah.
addiction essentially, and he just hit that like he just hit the right addiction.
And as soon as he saw the mural in the ship where he was a godlike figure with Magneto and Charles at his feet, like he was like he was like, I am a god, and you guys
Yeah.
were trying to keep me from that. And then he ascends to Apocalypse, and he wreaks havoc and kills every living atom. Like he literally says every atom that is there, and that's
So
funny.
I was
But at
wondering,
least it spares the Eves.
why was it? Why did Magneto care so much about that city? Did it have anything to do with the city?
No, it had nothing to do with the city. I think Magneto
Okay.
was coming around to like the speech where he was talking about Genosha and how he went wrong, and from season 1 where he was like literally he caused a black hole on Genosha essentially, right?
Hmm.
And
Yep.
now Apocalypse is doing that, and Magneto knew the price that had to be paid in order to do that because he did it
Uh,
himself, that kind of thing.
I
Um,
didn't connect that.
it's okay, no
Yeah,
worries.
I think
Um,
it's
That
all
makes
about that.
sense.
And just
mhm.
like he sees so much of himself, like in that, like that personality that he even mentions earlier about like growing up, like when he was talking about to Apocalypse about growing up a slave, when he first in that first conversation with him, and like he has a lot of the same like tenets of like growing up as well, through his path, and he's really just seeing like what he feels like he's walked this path, and he's trying to get Apocalypse to not walk that path, and he's just falling, and
Yeah,
failing.
yeah, and we see that because Apocalypse, um, he literally is holding Magneto in the palm of his hands, and then, man, one of the best deaths I've ever seen. And you see it through the reflection of Charles's eyes, and it's like he lights up his pink gun or whatever it was, but you see a skeleton, and then all of a sudden
That
you
part
see
was so cool. Like
nothing.
that, the skeleton part was
Yeah.
awesome.
But how about the visuals on like Charles's expression on his face, to the transformation, to the tears coming down his face, and like I was completely, like, it was breathtaking, honestly, to see that. And the emotion behind it was really good. Only to like, Charles dropped like one of the coldest lines ever after that happened. He's like, "Your mother was right to leave you there in the desert." Like, it was just like,
Yeah.
dude, are you trying to poke the bear? Like, what are you doing? And then
he didn't care at that point.
no, not at all. But it's so much so where he comes over him and he's standing on his, about to stand on his head, and he's like, what satisfaction do I have to, like, the mighty to squash an ant? Like, there's no satisfaction there. Like, and he moves on and then leaves him there. That was an incredible sequence of events.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. That was a crazy line to drop right there. Like, just like it reminds me of for some reason it reminded me of a line from the movie Zoolander, where John Voight's character drops, "You're deader to me than your dead mother."
Wow. Dude, Zoolander to X-Men connection. I love it, dude. That's amazing.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think, like, as I'm watching the episode, and by the time it got to that last scene, I was like, does Xavier's wheelchair not have a seatbelt?
I think it used to. Like, I think it was like a little cockpit, but you're right, it didn't.
Like,
He kept falling out of that thing.
This man, he fell out of that thing. I mean, like 4 times this entire episode. Like, he's laying on the ground.
Yeah.
For half the episode.
Well,
yeah.
For me, I was like, dude, just use your powers to float around and fight. Like, I don't understand why that's not a thing. Like, why are you not holding yourself up with your powers and, like, fighting? Like, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah. He just needs to stop skipping leg day.
Oh gosh. He's going to skip it for the rest of his life. So
yeah, that's true.
Jeez, man. All right. What other highlights for these 4 episodes you guys have? Or if not, then that's fine too.
I just want to throw out, like, we haven't even mentioned one of the random crazy cameos that we get, where we see Thor.
Oh yeah,
just like,
that's right.
Randomly for a scene, Thor is just there, and you're just like,
I did a double take. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that at least got mentioned, like, for that cameo specifically, because it's just like, what is going on right here? And also, I like the fact that they brought him in, because I think we've gotten so used to the Marvel properties being segregated. And so it's cool seeing them, like, work into each other, because those lines are, like, artificially built because of the 90s, essentially, because of the splitting up of the properties of Marvel. Whereas, like, in the comic books before, you would see characters,
it was fluid, yeah,
just drop in, and as part of the reason why they had such troubles with some of them, because, like, certain people were like, okay, well, is this really a Daredevil villain, or is it more of a Spider-Man villain, like a guy like Kingpin? Like, he kind of rode the line a little bit a lot of times between those two people, and, like, where does he actually live? And the reason for that is because they were fluid. Like, you would move back and forth. You didn't always just interact with only Avengers, only X-Men, only Spider-Man, only the Fantastic Four. So it was cool. Like, it's cool seeing them just, like, especially because it's harder to do in live action, because you have to actually get the actor to show up and, like, pay them to be on all this stuff. Where it's a lot easier to just be like, hey, we're gonna have one scene of just Thor knocking somebody out and not really even mention it other than that.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I think also, like, they've got continuity between, like, the voice acting as well. Like, I was reading that, like, the people that did it in like the What If series, and then all the, like, the most recent, like, Captain America and all of that, like, it's the same people. Which, like, I mean, it's the same thing we want to see with, in live action. You want to see, Chris Evans as Captain America. You don't want somebody else, like, filling in for a movie. Like, so I've enjoyed that continuity between it, because, like, I mean, the voice acting is really good on that end.
Yeah, which you brought up Captain America, which the post-credit scene in episode 4 we see Captain America and Black Widow handing a file over to Wolverine that says Weapon X, and
Yeah.
Potential subplot going into the rest of this. Wolverine potentially taking out people in charge of the Weapon X program, or he's looking to find somebody else a part of the Weapon X program to join the team or something along those lines.
Yeah, or maybe, I mean, they could do something crazy. I don't know. Maybe that's how Kang gets connected. Maybe he's behind Weapon X. Like, I know that wouldn't be like necessarily like true to maybe like the comic book version, but it'd be a way they could tie in like a character like that. You know, but having him pulling some of the strings deeper in this universe, you know?
Like I was reading something earlier because like I know far less about this than like you, Justin. So like I have to I'm grabbing straws. Anything I can get, I'll kind of read on it. But they were saying with like the next episode coming out, like it's got a direct tie to one of the ones in the original series. As far as like the naming, it's like I don't know. I forget the name of the next one, but like they changed one of the words. It was like something lies and videos.
Mhm.
And like in this one, it's something lies and DVDs is like the change. But they were pointing to like where the next like how it could correspond to that episode,
Okay.
which had like a bunch of Logan's like wartime, kind of flashbacks. It had some Sabretooth in it, so that'd be really cool.
That
Like
would be really
I
cool.
would really enjoy that if it was like a correlation to at least the clips that I'd seen from the original for that episode. And then
Yeah.
I like stuff like that. I love, the callback stuff, and it just it makes that the lore and the connection to the original series that much stronger.
Yeah, which they have been doing some unique titles for episodes. Like episode 1 was, rather than Days of Future Past, which we are familiar with, it was
Yep.
Days of Past Futures, which was very interesting on that
I
little
had a
twist
double
there.
take on that one.
I did too. Yeah, I
I
was
was
like,
like,
wait,
Yeah.
are we doing? Wait, what? And then it was, yeah, which I liked it. I liked the fact that they were
Yeah.
playing on solid things that are already established in canon or in lore, that kind of thing. All right. Any other final thoughts before we wrap this up? All
I
right.
got nothing.
Yeah.
All right. We're excited for the rest of this season. I believe we only had 9 total episodes, so there's 5 episodes left. Come back next week. We'll be doing a review of episode by episode breakdown as they release. So come check that out. But so anyway, thank you so much for listening to the World Geek Podcast. Do sign up for Trial by Tomatoes, our movie over under game. You can go to trialbytomato.com and sign up for the 10 movies that we are going to be playing with this season. So please check that out. But anyway, from the rest of us here, for Shamato and Jordan Mosley, the landlord, I am Justin Sandoval, Sandy, saying thank you so much for listening to the Royal Geek Podcast, and we will see you next time, you peasants.